Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Food Network, an amazing show here on YouTube where we have judges and we have chefs and we prepare meals for you guys and trying to bring some educational facts, but not only that, just amazing, amazing food. So serving on your panel, usually weekly as your chefs, will be Chef Alicia, Chef Michael, Chef Christy, who is out today, and then myself. And then our judges are Brooke, Tina, Fairy Princess One, and Zen Maiden. Tonight is Tina's final show with us here on Real Talk Food Network. She's taking a sabbatical and will be away for a while. And we have an announcement later on in the show that Alicia will be doing about what we're doing with that whole seat and so on and so forth. So what we do is each week the judges get to choose a theme and it rotates judges. So last week we opened up our show and Brooke, who had a family event come up, was last week. So I did the announcement for her, but she chose diner food. And this week Tina picked the theme and requirements. And then at the end of the show, Zen will announce what her theme and requirements are for the chefs for next week's show. So without further ado, let's go to Tina and have, oh, real quick, sorry, presenting tonight will be Michael, myself, and then Alicia. Okay, so without further ado, let's go to Tina and she can tell us the theme she picked, the requirements, just a little bit about it.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Tina, and I did choose paleo. For those of you that don't know me, I started my weight loss journey at over 400 pounds, and I lost the majority of my weight eating a very strict paleo diet. So tonight I wanted, and I'll tell you what paleo is, but tonight I chose paleo because I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of tricky to kind of, change a lot of our eating habits. So I'm really excited to see what our chefs have prepared tonight. I asked them to make a main dish and a side dish and a dessert. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Now a strict paleo, they call it the caveman diet, and really what it is you eat meat and vegetables, a lot of meat and vegetables. And there's no grains, there's no dairy, and you can, Google paleo. They've got a lot of information out there, a lot of great, cookbooks on paleo. So, I find myself, I have more energy, I don't bloat because I don't eat a lot of dairy. Now I've added a little dairy into my diet, but I'm not strict anymore. But I think it's a great way to live. That's my personal opinion, and that's how I choose. I'll probably eat this way for the rest of my life. So, without further ado, I want to see what you guys make tonight. I'm excited.
Michael, it's all you.
All right. This was mind blowing. I have never cooked paleo, so I actually went to Barnes and Noble and did some research and then snapped pictures of the cookbooks because I wasn't going to buy a cookbook because that was expensive. But
Right.
I did find a cookbook. I did get it out of the Paleo Cookbook for Dummies. Perfect cookbook. I loved it. I will go back and buy it next week. But first off, for my side dish I made is sauteed kale with bacon and mushrooms. Here we go. There we go. Sauteed kale with bacon and mushrooms. And let me tell you what is in here. There is 6 cups of curled kale, stems removed and chopped. It called for macadamia oil. I could not find macadamia oil, so they said a substitution would be a light olive oil. 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms, 1 large onion, 6 slices of cooked bacon, crumbled, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 cup of chicken broth, and a splash of balsamic vinegar. What you do is you saute the onions and garlic and mushrooms until the onions start to brown up a little bit. And then you add in the bacon and the maple syrup. And then you add in the kale on top, and with a quarter cup of chicken broth at a time until the kale is completely wilted. And then you splash it with the balsamic vinegar, and then it's done. I mean, I am not a kale person, but OMG, with bacon and mushrooms, I can eat kale all day long.
Yeah.
That is my side dish.
Yep. Oh, looks amazing.
My main dish, I'm going to get some, let me scroll to the next picture here. I'm going to get some points here too, I know it. My main dish is a Thai green curry chicken. Ooh. And here it is. It has, let's see, use a 3-inch piece of lemongrass, coconut oil, white onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1-inch piece of fresh ginger grated, 1 pound of chicken thighs, salt, pepper, green curry paste, 1 zucchini, 1 red bell pepper, 2 cups of white mushrooms, 2 cups of coconut milk, and basil to put on top. Here it is. And all you do with this one, super simple, super easy. In the food processor, you peel the lemongrass and you puree it in the food processor until it becomes a pasty consistency. And then you heat the coconut oil in the pan. You add the onions until they're translucent. Add the garlic, the lemongrass puree, and the ginger. You saute that for like an extra minute until it's really fragrant. And then you add in the chicken thigh meat, which was cut into 1-inch pieces, salt and pepper, until it's browned on all sides. And then you stir in the green curry paste and the vegetables and then you get all that stirred in together, and then you add in the 2 cups of coconut milk, and you simmer for about 15 minutes, and then you take it out and put a little bit of fresh basil on it, and you call it done. The vegetables, I cut them chunky so they're still firm. And, oh my God, coconut milk and green curry paste. I mean, it is really creamy and just delicious. It really is delicious. The lemongrass, there's just a very hint of lemon to it. Oh, this is good. This would really be good over some rice. Just saying, but I don't have no rice.
It wouldn't be paleo if it was rice.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The family
Right.
eating it over rice. I'm not going to eat it over rice.
Right. It'd be a violation.
So that is my main and 2 sides. I mean, my main and my 1 side. Now my dessert. Oh my goodness. I made a fruit parfait. Here it is. Right here. Got this out of a paleo cookbook. What it is, you take a can of coconut milk. You stick it in the refrigerator overnight. Actually, I used 2 cans because there's a lot of us here. You put the coconut milk in the refrigerator overnight, right? You know, when you're ready to make it, you pull it out, open the can, you scoop off the cream off the top of the coconut milk, which is the coconut fat. And then you add a tablespoon of vanilla. You put it in your mixer, and you just mix it until you get a whipped cream consistency. And then you can add any fresh fruit you want. And I chose tonight blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. And then you sprinkle your choice of nuts on top. Here is your dessert
That looks so
with
good.
coconut cream.
So amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Let me
Wow.
just.
I am gonna have to
Oh
eat
my
that.
goodness! Look at that! Look at that right there.
That looks so good, Michael.
Oh my goodness.
Now this
It really
coconut
does.
cream, I was kind of leery because there ain't nothing like some real whipped cream. It has that hint of coconut to it. It's not greasy at all,
Mm-hmm.
and it has just that background of the vanilla. It is some really good, and it's not that bad for you. It really is good.
It's not
I
bad
mean,
for you.
that is really, really good. I love it. And I'm glad I made like a triple batch because
Oh yeah.
I'm on that the rest of the week. But that is my
Great job.
side. I'll show that my side and my main dish.
Wow.
Bacon, mushrooms, green curry paste, and then of course my dessert. I'll show that one more time because I know y'all really want some of that.
Yeah.
That is really good.
It looks
So
amazing.
that's what I made for y'all tonight.
So, Michael, how did you like cooking paleo? Do you think it's something that you might incorporate, into,
Well,
a few meals sometimes, or?
honest, it's not really any different than regular cooking. I mean,
Right.
you just substitute some of the stuff. I mean, I mainly eat a protein meal anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
meat and vegetables, that's what we eat. So,
Yeah.
I mean, paleo is not really that much different than my regular day diet already.
Yeah. I don't like to label, oh, she's the paleo girl. I don't like to label that. I don't want to be labeled like that. I just find it's such a healthy, like with the coconut. What you made tonight was it's so healthy. It's fresh. It's clean. It's delicious. It's light, but you nourish your body, especially for someone, who works out. It's just really good food for your body. So, well done tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Then me, I'll go.
Oh, yeah.
What I especially like the most about your dishes is that you didn't overcook your vegetables. I could see that the mushrooms in the kale dish and the vegetables in your main dish were perfectly cooked. I also love.
The pepper is not limp at all.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because when they're like greasy and like flop, it's not as good. So I thought that makes it look delicious. Green curry and coconut milk and all that is one of my favorite flavor combinations. Of course, I agree. Like, I think of rice, but like, that's all right. That's all right. It's still good without it. It looks delicious. The dessert is so visually appealing, and it's something I could eat, and that just makes it all the more appealing. And it's just beautiful. And like, berries are in season right now. It's just I think I've heard of doing that, but I didn't really understand how to do it. And so now I think this week I'll pick up some coconut milk and do it.
I was really confused when I read the recipe. I was like, so just stick it in there. I made sure I didn't shake the can at all before I stuck it in the refrigerator. And the coconut fat literally rises to the top, and you just scoop it off. And there's about that much in the can of coconut fat in the can of coconut milk. So I will say 2 cans of the coconut milk made probably almost 2 cups of cream.
Wow.
After you whipped it, and I whipped it for probably about 10 minutes.
That sounds great.
Very cool.
I was really impressed, Michael, with your presentation and the information about each component of the recipe. The first dish, you know, I love kale and I love it sautéed with mushroom, onion, garlic. I'm a big mushroom, garlic, onion with almost anything that I saute, whether it be kale or spinach or whatever vegetable. And when you mentioned the balsamic vinegar as one of the additives, that gave me the throwback of collard greens. Because when I make collard greens or mustard greens, I always throw vinegar, like apple cider vinegar, in the mix along with it. And of course, it has a ham hock or smoked turkey wing, which is very similar to the bacon component of your selection there for that. So I really like that. And I liked all of it actually. The green curry chicken sounds amazing with the all the ingredients you listed. It looked very fresh. Something that I would definitely eat or order if I were out. And the dessert, of course, looked amazing. And I'm really thankful for the pointer on the coconut milk. I will also check that out because I think that's a fun fact. I like that.
Okay, Alicia, or does anyone else have any questions?
Well, we have a few comments. I'll read them. Sister Scaleback said, "Hello, I'm here," and she also said, "I don't think cavemen had bacon." So.
Well, and they killed the pigs, I guess. I mean.
I guess.
Yeah, it proved them that it was bacon.
Madison Page said, "I love you, Michael."
I love you too, Madison.
Is that one of your friends?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Kimberly Dodato says, "Oh my, that looks bomb.com." I haven't heard that in a while. Lori Has Hope is here. She says she's late tonight, but she's here in her reserve front row seat. So she said the food looks delicious. So
thank you.
Very happy to have you guys. So if no one has any other questions or comments for Michael, we will
save some for me, Michael.
Got it. I made a bunch, so y'all all come on down.
We'll move on to Rob. Rob.
Okay, so I was super excited about tonight with the paleo because even though I've best friends with Tina, when I was there we did paleo and so on and so forth, but I never really researched or got into it. So when I started deciding that I wanted to do what I wanted to make, I really had to research because I wanted to make an authentic paleo dinner, complete with dessert. So the first thing I had to research was if yams were considered paleo, because there was some controversy. Now, for people that are strict paleo, they will not eat a sweet potato. But the general census is even though sweet potatoes are a starchy vegetable that are high in carbs, their benefits outweigh the negatives. Yes, sweet potatoes contain sugar, so they do have an effect on the blood sugar level, but this effect happens slowly and steadily. So it did say that it was okay to cook with yams, but they do recommend that you use it in moderation. Same thing with the potato. Some of the other ones that they listed on there just for the viewers would be butternut squash, acorn squash, beets, and potatoes. And then I really wanted to look and see how was I going to cook this food, with what oils or cooking stuff was I going to use for this. And it gave me coconut oil, olive oil, macadamia oil, grass-fed butter, or avocado oil. Well, I do have olive oil, but I cook with it all the time, so I chose to go with something else, and I went with the grass-fed butter. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is my main and my side, which this is what I've made tonight, and I will tell you guys what this is in just a second. So starting with the vegetables up top, we have snow peas, carrots, broccoli.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oops, I'm sorry, with butter, grass-fed butter. So that's what the vegetables are sauteed in with garlic. So those are the ones that I chose.
We missed part of that. Could you just repeat that, please?
Sure. So what I chose was the snow peas, carrots, broccoli, and they are sauteed in a grass-fed butter with garlic. I wanted to add some additional taste to them instead of just steaming them. So that's what I chose to do with that. The next thing that I chose to make, you guys, was I wanted to get away with not using as many ingredients as possible because that really is kind of the paleo way. So what I did was took one medium-sized yam, 4 ounces of sausage, which I fried up, put green onions and 1 egg in a container, and I made what is called a sweet potato sausage cake. And I also decided to make them in a meatball form. I also decided to make them in a meatball form because there is different ways that you can make it. So let me cut this so you guys can see what the inside looks like. It's actually absolutely amazing. I made an extra one and had it the other night. So that's what it looks like on the inside. It's sausage, green onion, yams. And you guys, it is amazing. The sweet with the sausage all browned up is absolutely amazing. And then you might be able to see a little bit better of the inside if I hold it up like that. So that's what it looks like. It's the sweet potato, the sausage, the green onion, and there is an egg in there to kind of keep everything together. So, again, on this whole plate, you guys, there's a total of 6 ingredients. You have the vegetables, and then you have the yam, which I consider that separate. The sausage, the green onions, the egg, and then the grass-fed butter that I cooked it in. That's all. I didn't add any spices or nothing to it. I added garlic to this, which was real garlic, but nothing seasoning to the meat or to the yams at all. And it tastes absolutely amazing, you guys. It really does. Hold on, let me get one more bite. I ain't even gonna lie. So good. Then for dessert, I had to make something that was going to be off the hook. So what I came up with is a Paleo Black Forest cake. Okay? And this is what it looks like. So on the bottom layer here is a chocolate bar that is, it has to be over 60% really, they say, to be considered a paleo from the research that I did. This particular cocoa bar is 72%. You melt that with a little bit of butter, and you really do need the butter, because if you don't put the butter in there, then it's going to have a very bitter taste to the chocolate, and you do want a chocolate taste. It is a dessert. And then the same thing as Michael did, the only difference that I did was instead of buying the coconut milk and doing the skimming, I actually bought the coconut cream, which you just pour out of the container, and then you whip it with electric beaters or with a whisk, just like you would whipping it to the consistency to get the kind of topping that you want. So I went with the coconut cream. There's a layer of that, and then in here, which has kind of started to fall a little bit, but there is a layer of cherries, and then another layer of the whipped cream, and then I saved a little piece of the chocolate bar and grated it on the top and put a cherry. So that, you guys, is going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, I gotta try it. I ain't even gonna lie. That is amazing, you guys.
Runaway cherry.
Paleo cake.
So, Rob,
Yes.
can I ask a question about the cake?
Sure.
Is the bottom part cake-like consistency, and what actually binds with the chocolate to make it cake-like?
It's not, I think they call it that just because that's the title they gave it. There is no cake in it whatsoever. It's just chocolate and butter on the bottom. The butter adds the flavor and also allows it to harden in the refrigerator some. So on the bottom is nothing but the 72% cocoa bar with some butter mixed in it with it, and that's what forms the base. The recipe's name is just Paleo Black Forest cake, but there is actually no cake texture to it.
Right, so it's more like a pudding sort of mix. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Consistency.
It's harder than that. It's harder than a pudding. It's actually like if you took chocolate and melted it and then froze it or put it in the refrigerator.
Oh,
It
so
kind
it's
of has more of a thickness to it. I'll see if I can get some out of there for you guys. See, like it's starting to pull.
mhm.
It kind of is more like a fudge to me, like a cold fudge is what I would consider it. Like a fudge that you would take out of a jar and put on ice cream. That's kind of what I would consider it to.
How sweet does it end up being?
You know what? Ooh, it's very sweet because you have the coconut cream, which you don't have to add anything to. You just whip it right out of the container. And then it has real cherries in there. And then you're saving a piece of the chocolate to grate on the top, because otherwise all the chocolate is at the bottom. I really didn't want to go. The gal that had made the original recipe went with an 82% cocoa.
Ooh.
I didn't want to do that because it's too bitter and it doesn't taste sweet. You guys, this actually tastes sweet to the point where this little dish would be more than enough, even for someone myself. So, and the secret to this dish is, do any of you guys recognize what this is?
Is that like a little shot glass, or what is it?
It used to have a Glade candle in it.
Shut up.
Yeah, so you have to recycle, folks. What you do with these when you're done with them is take out that bottom part of the candle, boil a pot of water, and put this in there, and leave it in there for about 7 minutes. Run it through your dishwasher. It's perfectly fine to use as a perfect-sized dessert dish.
awesome.
Oh,
A
look at
Glade
that.
candle dish, you guys.
Perfect.
So, that's what I brought tonight. Let me hold my dinner up again for you guys so you can see that amazing meal. And this is yam cakes with sausage, and absolutely amazing.
Wow.
I think you did a fantastic job, Rob. I love how, okay, what you cook tonight is how I cook at home, because I don't like a lot of ingredients too, and I'm busy and I'm running here and running there, and when I meal prep, it's just easier for me just to have a few ingredients, and that's what I love about paleo. And you did, I'm going to have to try those sausage cakes. They look amazing.
Very, very
They look
easy.
really good.
Just cover your bottom of your pan in one of the oils that is paleo approved, so to say. Cook each side for about 4 minutes, and you'll be good to go. You can cook them to the brownness that you like. Now, mine is cooked crispy. You guys don't have to do it this crispy. I love my stuff crispy like this. I love the texture of it. I love the taste. It's like trying to get that crispy edge around like the lasagna dish or whatever. It's absolutely amazing. But if you don't want yours that crispy, you don't have to cook yours that crispy. Totally flip them until you to your texture or your cooking that you like, and go with that. That's what you can do.
I love how you use grass-fed butter. You know how I am with grass-fed and organic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, crazy for all that stuff. But wow, you did a great job, Rob. I'm proud of you.
There was a couple other things that if Brooke and Zen have any questions, I'll listen to those. But I did want to let the people know that I did find that if you're on the paleo diet or you choose it, and you're in the process of losing weight, they strongly recommend that you limit the amount of nuts that you are consuming. And not every nut that is made is a paleo nut. For instance, peanuts and beer nuts and things like that, that's not paleo. Almonds, cashews, in very moderation with the cashews. Hazelnuts, pecans, pine nuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, macadamia nuts, and walnuts. Those are like paleo foods. What I found surprising, though, was I wrote down some things for the viewers, too, to stay away from. And the list is a mile long, but it's dairy, soft drinks, fruit juice, legumes or beans, grains, artificial sweetener, traditional snack pre-packed, salty foods, fatty meats that are low quality like Spam and hot dogs. If you do eat those, just use moderation. Avoid energy drinks, alcohol, and sweets. And if you do decide to treat yourself, just use moderation. That's the key, whether you're on paleo, whether you're on a protein diet, whether you're just watching what you eat. It really is about moderation. So that's what I prepared tonight. I hope you guys like it. It was an absolutely great experience, and I was glad I got to be a part of it.
You did a great job with all the research and stuff. I feel like I learned a lot. That was very helpful. The crispy, like you said, when anything's in a pan and you need to make it crisp, I don't know, I'm a real like stickler for that. If it looks mushy, then And also you said you didn't really have to use any salt or spices, so I guess that speaks to how everything blended together and how everything tasted, so that's awesome too. The dessert, again, beautiful, looks delicious. The chocolate, like I like dark chocolate, but once it gets over a certain percentage, I have a hard time with it. But I think with the other ingredients, I think it would be different. I know, and it's a lot better for you to eat that kind of chocolate as well. So it'd be something that I would try, because I see all those fancy chocolate bars at the grocery store, and I'm like,
anything over 70% is really hard for me to eat, because for me it lacks a sense of sweetness.
Mhm.
The higher you go in the cocoa, the less sugar it's going to have in it. That's why it's paleo approved. That's why you can just buy like a Hershey bar at the store. You could go buy it and use it for the recipe if you're
What if it's a dark Hershey bar?
Yeah, it might work. I bought one of those the other day and ate it, but the Hershey bar the bar that I actually used was one of my agents is in Sweden, and her daughter went and stayed with her for a week because she goes there for 3 months, and they sent me back a candy bar, and it was 72% cocoa from Sweden. It's absolutely amazing, and that's what I used in the dish.
Oh, perfect.
I have a couple questions, Rob. First, I want to say great job. I think that you really stepped out of your normal box here and trying this type of sausage combination. I know you're not into the sweet and the savory combination. You've said that multiple times on the show, and so for you to actually go here was really interesting, and the fact that you like it is even better. I want to ask you about the sausage. Is it a spicy kind of sausage that you normally use, or was it one that you just cooked it separately and then combined it into the patty? How did you actually do that? And I like the fact that it was crispy too. It looks like you froze.
It was. Am I still froze? I hope not.
No, you ain't froze now.
Okay. I went to the meat department and I got 12 ounces because the recipe, what I did was I put 4 ounces for each medium-sized yam because I really wanted the meat to be present in there, not overbearing, but present in there inside the sweet potato sausage cake. So what I did was I just went and I got a mild. You don't have to buy it from the meat counter, but since they weren't busy and no one was there, I just went up to the meat counter and said, can I get 12 ounces of mild pork? So I got just the mild, but if you like the hot or you like the jalapeno or whatever kind of pork, you can buy it off the shelf. There's nothing wrong with that. I cooked that separate. I went ahead and I cut up the yam. You can put some of the grass-fed butter in there if you want to. I opted not to because I knew I was going to fry it in it, so I thought just cutting some back here where I can. And then I microwaved it. When it was done, I mashed that. The meat I had cooked separate, I put that in. Then I poured in the amount of green onions that I wanted in there, cracked the egg over it, mixed it together with my hands. And when, I didn't want to purify the yams because I didn't want that kind of like a patty cake texture. I wanted there to be some pieces of yam in there. So I made sure that I didn't overdo it. That's why I used my hands. I formed them into patties. I made some that were meatball shaped to show that you don't have to just go vanilla and go patty. You can also go ahead and do the meatball texture.
Okay. Great job. Great job. And I love your dessert too. That looks great. I would love to try that. I'm wondering, it's kind of a dichotomy for me that you can't have sugar with paleo, but you can have syrup and probably honey and things that are very high concentrate of sugars, even though they're natural sugar. That's kind of surprising to me on one hand. And I was familiar with the fact that you should not have too many nuts when trying to lose weight. Some fat is definitely good and good for your brain and so forth. But yeah, any excess of nuts is going to cause weight gain because it's 9 grams per 9 calories per gram as far as the nuts, right? Isn't that how fats are calculated versus carbs, 4 grams?
And Tina can probably clarify. It seemed like a lot of the sugars that you were allowed to have did have to do with the glycemic index and how it breaks down in your body. Does it hit you really fast or does it gradually go in? And I don't know the scientific behind that. That's just what I read. And this is the thing for me. I liked cooking paleo. It was fun. It was exciting. It is something that I will find recipes and do. It wouldn't be a lifestyle that I would do every day like Tina does, but all of us here are different. So you have to figure out what works for you. But I can tell you this, it wouldn't hurt you to incorporate paleo into your diet at least a couple times a week. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
We have a couple comments. Sister Scaleback RNY said, I love the idea of chocolate cake. I'm not normally a chocolate lover, but that made me want some. And then she also said, no sweetener in my coffee, I'd die. Oh.
It's what everyone has, like, their thing, like their little, like, oh, I could never live without that.
Right.
Yeah. And then Kimberly Dodato says, it looks very delish. Good job, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kim.
So, yeah. So there we are with the comments.
I would open my mouth to show you guys that that piece of broccoli just melted. It was amazing.
You're having a broccoli moment?
Yeah, it must be the grass-fed butter.
I'm telling you.
I have another question then for you, Rob, about the grass-fed butter, because I've never had it. How is it different, and how does it taste different from regular butter?
I thought, and Tina may know different, for me, I found it at Whole Foods. They did not have it at the Sprouts, but I did find it at Whole Foods. It is expensive. For me, it was more creamier, and I like that part of it. It wasn't sweet. I wouldn't say it was sweet, but it was more creamy. I liked cooking with it better. It didn't stick to the pan as much. It didn't get the outer parts of the pan all brown, like where it burns or whatever. And obviously, grass-fed means that the animals that they make the butter from was grass-fed. I think overall it had a superior taste to it, and it was good. And it was something that I would buy. I don't eat a lot of butter in general, so it will last me for a long time. So for me, the cost is worth the product.
And let me just say something. You know, I live in a very agricultural area, and we raised sheep for many, many years. And people might not agree with me, but when we sold our lambs, they were grass-fed. We couldn't classify them as organic because we gave them their first set of shots when they were babies. So when you are buying something that is, like, I have friends up close to North Dakota border that run 800 head of cattle. They are grass-fed. They don't put any hormones in their cows. So their meat it's amazing. I mean, it really truly is. It's different, and it's hard to explain. But like Rob said, it is creamier. It doesn't stick to the pan like the other butter does, and it's weird. I don't know if it's got to be because it's more pure. You know, there's no chemicals or any crap in it. But try it. It is more expensive, but it's just like an organic egg as opposed to another egg. I will not eat anything but organic eggs. You know, there's a big difference. Same with the butter. Same with the chicken, Rob.
Well, that $12 a pound chicken.
That's all I eat here is organic. Organic chicken, organic, yeah.
The happy meat, right, Brooke?
And it's just because I know because I raised animals, and Michael, you do too. I mean, you do 4-H. You kind of get to know, and you know, like right now our fair is going on, and I'm telling you, some of these kids, the crap they're pumping into these lambs to make them their butts all round and stuff, and these people are going to sell. These kids are going to sell and make $1,000 for a lamb, but who wants to eat that when they're pumping all that stuff in them? So
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a question, Rob. On your cream, your coconut cream, what was the cost of that container, and how big was it?
That container was 250 milliliters, and that ran I want to say 409. But I did not use the full thing because, it's probably about like this squared. It's 250 milliliters. But see, the good thing was I only made one. This is all I made. I made one serving because if I make 2 or 3 of these, even though it's healthier than a traditional dessert, I would sit there and I would say, well, instead of using this, I'll just use a big bowl.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is you can put it back in the fridge. You can make whipped cream and put it on something else, like that apple pie a la mode you had last week. You know what I'm saying? But overall, you guys, absolutely amazing. And worth the cost. Totally worth the cost.
Yeah, I was just curious. I've never seen it, so I'm definitely going to look into that because, I mean, this was easy and cheap, but if I don't have to scoop it out and then find something to do with the milk, the rest left for later, might as well.
You know, for those of you that are out there watching that are starting paleo, you have to it is expensive. If you're going to go grass-fed and everything, it's more expensive. But pick and choose. You know, pick and choose if you're starting out what you can afford. If you want to spend the money on your grass-fed butter and your chicken, you know, pick and choose.
I just have to show that really quick. I'm so sorry.
Rob,
that's the best bite. That's the best bite that just happened.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, we do want to get to Miss Beautiful Alicia. We have saved the best for last. So, Alicia, what did you make tonight?
Well, here is mine. Let me see if I can. Can you guys see that? Right there. I'll explain what it is in just a second, but that's what mine looks like. It is actually, okay, let me start with this right here. These are actually zucchini chicken bites. So they're just like, they're very small. And it has zucchini, it has ground chicken, it has some onion, a little bit of garlic, some cilantro, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And basically what I did was I just used my, you know, like a grater, and I grated 2 zucchinis, and I took a pound of ground chicken, and I mashed it up together, and then I put some cilantro in there, and just made little tiny like patties and cooked them up. You know, it said you could use oil. I just used a little bit of cooking spray because that's all I had on hand and stuff. So
look, it worked perfectly.
Yeah, no, I liked them. They it was a great way to put like zucchini and just the flavors. I mean, yeah, just so it actually I actually have the recipe, but the recipe says that it makes 30 chicken bites. So
wow.
The awesome thing about this is, you know, you can make these and then like freeze them and have them, you know, and then just cook them up, you know, unfreeze them, cook them up and stuff. So they're very tiny. They're very, like, I love them too because, like, I love little finger foods, but, you know, kids do too. So, yeah. So there's that. I guess I'll taste it. It's really good.
It looks good.
It's really, really good.
Looks yummy.
It looks delicious.
I mean, I wouldn't even be able to tell that there was zucchini in there. So, and then my other thing here, it's actually creamy zucchini soup, and it was so freaking easy to make. I was actually very surprised. This one does have parsley. I don't like parsley, but there is parsley in this one. But on the top, I had to add my own twist and put some cilantro because I have to have cilantro. But this one, also, I cut the recipe in half because these recipes are like huge amounts. So I actually used 2 zucchinis and chopped them up. But in the pan or in the pot, what I did was I took some butter and an onion. I had cut up the onion, and I you know, cooked it up till it was like you could, you know, it was sautéed or however you say it. And then I put a little bit of garlic, and then I took the zucchini and I threw it in there and let that cook up for about 10 minutes or so till it kind of got soft. And then I threw in 2 cups of chicken broth and some fresh parsley, and I let that cook for about another 10 minutes. And then I let it sit and cool a little bit, and once that was cool, I threw it in my blender, blended it up, and that was it. I didn't add, it said to add salt and pepper to taste. I didn't add any extra salt and pepper. It said you could leave it chunky if you want. I don't like chunky soup, so it's very creamy. And I know it looks gross, but it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's absolutely, I can't even. I'm like so making this all the time now.
Looks great.
Really good.
Good job.
And then, I'm sorry, I have no dessert. I ain't gonna lie. There's no dessert for Alicia today. I had a very, very bad day, and I just didn't get to it, so, you know. But that's okay. There's my my entree and my side. The soup I considered my side, and then the yeah.
I think you did great, Alicia. I love zucchini. I think that is a great. But I've never had zucchini soup. So that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've had like a minestrone, not a creamy zucchini.
Yeah.
I've had like a vegetable soup with zucchini in it, and that looks really good, Alicia.
I'll send you over the recipe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to try it.
And I think that one thing that I from following you and just watching you a lot is that you like to use simple, kind of like simple, you don't like recipes that have like a lot of stuff in it. So, and I wanted to keep it simple, and to me, like, this is stuff that I could make because it wasn't hard. Like, it really wasn't hard. And I didn't know if my family would like it or not because they were like, oh, zucchini. But Chris actually tasted the soup, and he was like, he kind of did one of these things. He, like, dipped it in the pot, and then he goes like this, like, shakes it all up, and he goes, one of those. Let me just, like, to satisfy me, just so she'll just shut up and won't bitch at him. Yeah, that's what we go through. He's like, I just might as well do it so you don't say nothing, so you just be quiet. So, he was like, it's really good. Like, it was really good.
It's really smart to use zucchini right now because it's so in season. It's one of my, I don't really like it sauteed because sometimes it gets mushy, so any time you can make it into something else, like a little patty. And I like small foods too. You said like kids, and that I like. Of course, a 5-year-old in me is like, I'm gonna dip it in ketchup.
No, I'm seriously, when you just said that, I was like, seriously, when we get off here, I'm going to get the ketchup. I have to have my ketchup.
You can have mustard on cake, and you can dip it in mustard.
Okay, I'll dip it in mustard. I do like mustard.
What about tomato paste? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Yeah. You can have tomato paste.
Yeah.
Good job.
Very good.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, I thought
Sorry you weren't feeling well.
Oh, it's okay. I'm telling you though, you guys have to try the soup because man, it's like.
Is that soup a hot soup or a cold soup?
It's a hot or cold. It was hot and it tastes good hot. And now it's cold.
Hot when the show started, and now it's cold.
I'm telling you, and now it's cold, and the shit tastes good cold too. I'm telling you.
So you recommend it either hot or room temperature?
Seriously, like I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you all the recipes. You guys all have to make it.
I like
Me
that. That looks good.
I love good soup like that. I mean,
And
I
it's
love it
so
like
creamy. Like it is so creamy. I can't even explain to you guys how creamy it is.
It looks delicious.
It looks
Oh my gosh.
delicious.
Then, did you have questions for Alicia?
No, I just like the idea of being able to hide a vegetable in something because a lot of kids, I mean, they don't want vegetables, and it's like, really? I mean, my parents would have just went off, but these days, some parents are and that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
Onions and zucchini. So.
Oh yeah. And the zucchini really has very little flavor when it's mixed with chicken or onion and garlic and so forth. I like making those little bites. It's kind of like making a meatball almost, except you made a patty, and that's one of my staples. I love that.
Yeah.
Great job, Alicia.
Thank you. So, any more questions?
Nope, I don't think
No?
so.
Okay. So yeah. Well, while the judges are making their decisions before they send over, yeah, I'm going to. Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. I'm going to make an announcement. So listen up, everyone. No, so you know, it's unfortunate, like, that Tina has to leave us for a little while right now. Maybe she'll be back later, you know, maybe once things, you know, who knows? Who knows? But, the thing is that, you know, we're sad to see her go, but family comes first. And so, you know, we're glad that you're going to go and take care of your business, Tina, and we wish you know, we'll still talk all the time, but we wish you well. But to replace her, I actually found someone, and her name is Kimberly Dodato, I think is how you say her last name, and I will leave a link to her channel down below, but you know, she doesn't have many videos and stuff, but I spoke to her and she's super excited about joining us here, and I know that she'll be a great addition, and she's very sweet. So, you know, it'll be a lot of fun. Of course, Tina will miss you, but you know, we'll all keep calling you and bugging you like always.
Yeah, I just want to say really quick, 'cause I know we're going to be announcing our winner and then skating off. I just want to thank everybody, you know, for watching and for the interaction and for having me on the show, Alicia. You know, right now my life is very crazy, and I know some of you do know what's happening, and it's just, I'm dealing with a lot right now, and so please keep my family in your prayers. I'm going to be losing another loved one here, and it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough right now. So, but on the other side, I'm training for a powerlifting competition in February, and so that's taking a lot of my time as well. And so, stay tuned. Who knows? I'll be back. You know, I might do some videos because I really want you guys to see me lifting, and as I get further down the road, I might make a video of the powerlifting competition. So.
Before you know, we announce, Tina, just in case anyone doesn't know your story, like we've only talked about it like a million times, but just in case, will you tell people where you started at and you know where you're at now and about to go into a competition?
Yes, I used to weigh over 400 pounds. And, you know, I haven't made videos in a long time, but when I was going, I found pictures of myself that I'd never posted on my videos of me. I looked even bigger than 405. I mean, it was just, but that's how much I have recorded is for, you know, over 400 pounds, and I've lost over 175 pounds, and I'm maintaining where I'm at. Now I'm not thin. You know, I'm not where I thought I wanted to be. You guys, I could barely fit behind the steering wheel of my car, and now I'm powerlifting, and everyone's saying I'm crazy strong, and they call me Sweet Tina in the gym, and they're trying to get me to be a little more tougher and get me skull t-shirts, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. I'm still going to be Sweet Tina, I think. Because they're like, yo, you need to get mad, you know, but I've come a long way. You know, this journey's tough, you guys.
But at 400 pounds, you'd never even imagine that you would be lifting, did you?
No. And I weighed in at the doctor's. I'll just share my weight right now. I am up a little bit. I had gotten down to 208. I am now at 215.8. So that's where I'm at right now. You know, I'm 215. You know, but I'm not 405. So, you know, I'm
too. I mean, you have put so much muscle and everything throughout the years. I mean, I've watched your videos when you were doing the, you know, talking about lifting and the progression of it. I mean, you've done great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm glad you're finally able to do a competition. There's been several almost theirs, but this is it. This is it. That's very exciting.
My name's on the board. When I go into I call it the muscle gym. It's like my name. He has a big whiteboard of all of his competitors and our training program. I'm like tomorrow morning I will be there at 6:15 in the morning, and his name's Jesse. And anyway, he's got my name up there on the board and stuff. So, you know, hopefully, you know, I pray that I can follow through with my training. Like I said, I have a family member who is going into hospice on Wednesday, and it's been a real rough road. And I think we've got a rough road ahead of us. So,
yeah,
you know, you just never know what God has in store. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'll be able to lift a car, I guess, by Christmas. I don't know.
Well, we're really proud of you.
But thank you. Thank you all very much. I love you all. Thank you so much. You all are amazing people.
So I'm going to keep you guys in suspense just for one more minute because I'm going to read the comments before you guys announce. Michael's over there dying. So Kimberly wants to know if that butter you use is closer to Amish butter.
I don't know what Amish butter is, so I can't answer the question.
I don't know either. So, and then Sister Scaleback RNY said, "Yummy on the zucchini chicken bites. I'm gonna make those babies. Did you saute the zucchini before you mix it in the chicken? Did you use egg to bind the patties together? Recipe. I will give you the recipe. I will put it down below. But no, I did not saute them. And no, I did not use any egg. It was just, like I said, zucchini. You can use ground chicken or ground turkey. Mix them up, and I put some cilantro. That's all that's in there. That's it.
Simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. And no hippie barbecue and cooking said, "Get your coach on, girl." So if you guys watch my videos, you know what they're talking about. So anyway,
after the judges are done, Zen has to tell us what the theme is next week with the requirements.
yeah.
But first we'll get the scoring written down.
So let's start with Brooke.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here. I thought we were just. I'm such an idiot. I thought we were just like picking the blue ribbon winner.
You pick who you're giving your point to. So you should have texted a name over to Elise.
Right. Yeah, I did that.
That name.
So is that the scoring?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, okay. I was like, do we need to score on all the things we other did? Okay. And say who I picked and why. Obviously. Right? Okay. I picked Michael because the flavors that he chose are just flavors that I adore, and they're my favorite flavors. So it would be impossible for me not to pick him. So congratulations for my vote. You guys both, and all three of you, did a wonderful job and made things that looked absolutely delicious. So thank you.
Tina, sorry. Tina.
Okay. It's getting. I look how dark I am. I probably should go turn the light.
I look like you're in a cave.
The sun's going down on the prairie, and I'm like
She's in a dungeon.
She's a cave woman, which is very fitting for.
I feel like you can't see me. Tonight, I chose Rob. I'm giving my point to Rob tonight. I feel that I just loved what you cooked. I thought it looked amazing. I like the plating. I love how you explained everything, and you really, I mean, you know, you and I are best friends. We've known each other a long time, and we spent a lot of time together. You know how I eat and what I eat, but I love how you went and did research about it. And I love that you ate your grass-fed butter. That just warms my heart. So Rob gets my point tonight. But really, Alicia and Michael, again, you guys are amazing.
All right, Zen.
Okay, tonight I awarded Michael my point, and I thought everyone did amazing. I was really impressed with his, not only his dessert, which I'm very impressed with the desserts, but I loved his, the chicken, the ginger, and lemongrass are two of my favorite things, along with curry. It's hard to miss on those. And, of course, the greens, the kale greens with the mushroom and bacon. That is always a standby staple that I love. But I just thought that sounded like very appealing. Rob, I loved yours too, and Alicia. They were both really, really nice meals. And Rob really went out of his normal box to try this. And I really, really was impressed with your research. And I think that you actually enjoyed it. And that really warms my heart to see that you actually really liked it. You know, rather than, you know, just saying, oh, I don't eat sweet with savory.
Right.
So that was it for me. Oh, and I'm going to announce the theme. This is where I get, I don't want to tell you what I was going to choose, but I think that I've decided to go with the meal in proportion, okay, showing us a meal that's made in proportion. I think that's what it was titled, Rob. You have the subtitles there. But what I want to do is I would like to stipulate that you make, it's a healthy meal made in balance. So that would be a main and two sides. One of them can be a dessert. It can be any dessert you want, but I was thinking that a healthier dessert would be good. Something that you have not tried. That's what the other thing that has to be thrown in there. If you can find something out there that you haven't tried, whether it be the dessert or the main dish or the side, whichever one, tell me next week which one you have not tried, and that'll be part of the fun.
Okay, so that was the one I believe that's listed, portion control, what a full meal looks like.
Yeah.
Okay? Portion control, what a full meal looks like.
Yeah, so it would be your portion size, whatever that might be, you know, or just a typical one. And for one of the sides or the main dish or the dessert, pick something that you have not made before or tried.
Okay.
Okay.
I got that one. I got this.
Well, any last thoughts before we go? Rob C?
Nope.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for being here and for watching us. And yeah, it was fun. And please keep Tina and her family in your prayers. And, you know, you can always show her love over on Facebook because I know she'll still be there. And, you know, just keep her in your thoughts. And we love you, Tina. We love you. Make her cry. Come on, let's make her cry.
Oh, Tina, we miss you.
Thank you. I love you guys, and thank you so much. I will watch when I
come
can.
back soon.
Yep, I'll watch when I can, and like I said, I'm, you know, I thank you all, and thank you for the love and support, and the messages, and the texts, and the just, it's just, it's hard. It's just life. It's hard.
All right. Well, before she cries, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.